Hello everyone, welcome back to VENKANNA ENGLISHGURU. Friends, we have started a topic called, as a part of this UGC-NET NTA-English, where you've been attending all these classes. We have actually started a topic called T.S. Eliot. And with regard to T.S. Eliot, where we discussed introduction to T.S. Eliot and the writings of T.S. Eliot. And today in this video, we are going to talk about T.S. Eliot as a critic. What are the important critical techniques that were actually popularized by T.S. Eliot? And what are the critical works? And we'll be talking about one or two popular essays and short synopsis of those essays. Okay, friends, before we go into the topic, and let us recapitulate what we have discussed with regard to T.S. Eliot in our previous two videos. Friends, we have started a part like T.S. Eliot, a very popular American writer. Simply, I'll flip through. And Thomas Stearns, you need to know T.S. Eliot refers to Thomas Stearns Eliot, and he is actually from America. And the popular writer, essayist, publisher, one of the 20th century's greatest critics, apart from Virginia Woolf, William Epps, Cleanth Brooks, I.E. Richards. Very popular, one of the major important critics of 20th century, as known for very popular works like, and he did his education in Harvard and did his works against anti-romanticism, and his PhD thesis was on F.H. Broadley, where we had a discussion, and he was also greatly influenced by the South Asian religions like and Buddhism, Hinduism, and but he could not attend his viva, hence he was not awarded his doctorate. And he is known for a very popular work, one of the most first 20th century first greatest ode in English literature, the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, published in 1915, a very popular work, as I told you. And is popular for the Wasteland, the Hollow Man, Four Quartets, Ash Wednesday, and the popular and words drama, Murder in the Cathedral, a very popular work. And he was awarded Nobel Prize for Literature in 1948, Order of Merit from the British, and he wrote literature, and he was greatly influenced by the writings of Edward Fitzgerald and Indian philosophy and scripts of Indian scripts which were written in Sanskrit. And his PhD title was Knowledge and Experience in the Philosophy of F.H. Broadley. Remember this, you will get in different examinations, Knowledge and Experience in the Philosophy of F.H. Broadley. Okay. Next, friends, you can see, and we also discussed and he was shattered by the impacts of World War I. Actually immigrated to Paris along with Gertrude Stein Ezra Pound, but again he came back and settled in London. He wanted to be a part of London, hence he married the Lady Vivian Haywood. Next, and the problem was, as he had a lot of problems with regard to marriage, and he could not, and has also visualized the same kind of atmosphere, circumstances in the outer world, and out of these experiences, where he actually wrote a popular epic like The Wasteland. Okay, we'll see, and that's what this is a very popular statement which we discussed in our previous. This is a popular dialogue, my friends. You need to remember, and he made this statement: "I am classist in literature, royalist in politics, and Anglo-Catholic in religion." Very important, which appeared in several examinations, several competitive examinations, from state level eligibility tests to UPSC examinations. Next, friends, and we discussed and writings of T.S. Eliot in our video, and the popular works, Prufrock and other Prufrock works, Sweeney poems. Okay. Next, The Wasteland, Hollow Man, Journey of the Maggie, A Song of Seamen, and Four Quartets. Next, some of the popular works, Next, friends, and very important, you need to remember the code SRMFCC. Okay, because he is known for 7 important plays that were composed by T.S. Eliot: Sweeney Agnostics, The Rock, Murder in the Cathedral, Family Reunion, Cocktail Party, Confidential Clerk, Eliot Statesman. Very important one is Murder in the Cathedral. To remember this order, remember SRMFCC. Okay. Next, friends, you can see the popular non-fiction works: Hamlet and His Problems, Metaphysical Poets, Tradition and Individual Talent, and Sacred Hoot, the popular works of T.S. Eliot, and the popular awards. And friends, in this video, our discussion is going to be T.S. Eliot as critic. This is a very important topic, but I can take not just only one class. I may take 2 or 3 classes to talk about T.S. Eliot as a critic. Remember, my friends, okay? So I'm going to give you lectures with regard to T.S. Eliot as a critic, where I'll be talking about how you can read T.S. Eliot and what kind of criticism has been adopted by this important writer, and in terms of criticism, in terms of 20th century criticism, in terms of new criticism, in terms of the different poetic critical techniques that were actually adopted by, proposed by T.S. Eliot. So we may have minimum 3 classes, I can say. So today and maybe next class is also going to be T.S. Eliot as a critic, and I'll talk about short synopsis of T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland, short synopsis of T.S. Eliot's Murder in the Cathedral also in my next videos. So important thing is, what are the popular techniques that were suggested by T.S. Eliot? And T.S. Eliot is known for objective correlative, dissociation of sensibility, French symbolism, very actually influenced by this technique, free words, which is also called words libre, and which is actually coined by Jules Lafroig, and where the book, and he actually employed, not just he, many 20th century writers, they established their own style of writing, composing, and poetry, where they introduced a technique called free words, open form, where not a kind of literature which is actually composed by 16th century, 17th century dramatists and poets like blank words. No, which is the exact opposite to blank words, free words, impersonality, the concept of impersonality. Okay, some of the simple techniques of T.S. Eliot, which T.S. Eliot is known for many techniques, my friends, but I'm giving you and some basic techniques. So you can see what is objective correlative. Objective correlative, which is actually introduced by American poet and painter Washington Allston. Very, very important. It is first coined by Washington Allston. Very, very. It is coined, first used by not T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot popularized it. It was introduced by T.S. Eliot in his essay Hamlet and His Problems. Very, very, very. So this is problems. Hamlet and his problems. Okay, Hamlet. It's actually a popular tragedy composed by T.S. Eliot. But Hamlet and His Problems, it's an essay, critical essay composed by T.S. Eliot. Remember the date 1919, where he actually talks about the importance of objective correlative. What is objective correlative? It refers to a set of objects. It refers to a set of objects or a situation or a chain of events which shall be the formula of a particular emotion. For example, if you ask someone, can you sing a song? Somebody say, I don't have mood to sing. Somebody say, if you give me a cigarette, I can I can sing a song. Somebody says, if you offer me a drink, I will sing a song for you, or I will dance for you. So here, what is objective correlative to someone to sing a song? Maybe a cigarette, or maybe a drink, maybe a biryani, or maybe someone may ask, if you offer me 1 lakh rupees, I'll come and I'll take classes for you. For example, see, so what is objective correlative? Objective correlative can be a set of objects. So in order to express certain emotion, certain emotions, you require certain objects. You require a particular situation. If you ask someone, can you sing a song for me? No, I cannot sing because this is not the situation. So situation is the formula to express certain emotion. So objective correlative refers to, it can be a set of objects, it can be a situation, it can be a series of events in order to express some particular emotion by the poet, by the writer, by the person in terms of writing. So this shall be the formula for particular emotion, and which will evoke the same emotion from the reader. Same kind of emotion which can be evoked by the reader. This is a simple definition. Several times these bits were asked, my friends, remember. Here I'll make a statement. Hamlet, it's an artistic failure. Hamlet, it's an artistic failure, whereas Macbeth, it is an artistic success. This is a popular comment made by T.S. Eliot. Hamlet, it's an artistic failure, whereas Macbeth, it's an artistic success. Hence, he talks about a lot. So, because Hamlet does not have this objective correlative, but whereas Macbeth has objective correlative according to T.S. Eliot. Forget about it. Objective correlative, which is actually coined by Washington Allston, popularized by T.S. Eliot in the book Hamlet and His Problems and Definition. Hamlet is an artistic failure, Macbeth is an artistic success. Very, very important, which you need to think about. Next, see, dissociation of sensibility. Another important term. This another important technique, poetic critical technique, which is actually popularized by T.S. Eliot. This term, which had been coined by T.S. Eliot into his essay, this is actually first used. Objective correlative was first used by Washington Allston, not by T.S. Eliot. But dissociation of sensibility was first introduced by T.S. Eliot, where metaphysical poets. What is dissociation of sensibility? It refers to a mechanism of sensibility which could devour any kind of experience. It refers to a mental skill, a mental ability where you can talk about, for example, let me give you everybody and all over the globe, around the globe, everybody is aware of a popular writer, popular director, Rajamouli, S.S. Rajamouli. You might have watched a lot of movies where you can see this director create and produce different movies, but I'm giving you one simple example. And he produced a popular movie called Iga or Magadira, and in different languages, in particular in Telugu and in Indian languages. In this movie, the hero and asks heroine to recollect the love affair, relationship, their love, which was happened 400 years ago. And the heroine, which was not able to recollect, but recollects at the end of the movie. So this, for example, if you think of even if what you have listened in my previous class, maybe 2 days or 3 days ago, you are not able to recollect, but the heroine recollects the situation that happened long back, and which is said by the director, and we believed. So that's what. So dissociation of sensibility refers to, it's a mental faculty. The director did not have any confusion that if I say that both lovers forgot their love and the affair that they had 400 years ago, and they died in the middle and without fulfilling their love, but again they are born and they met, and now they are able to remember the thing that they had that happened 400 years ago. This is actually a situation which is actually created by the director, and he thought that if I say this to my audience, and he did not have any confusion that my audience may accept or may not accept. He had only one idea that my audience will definitely accept. This is called dissociation of sensibility. For example, I'll give you another example. In our old movies, if you look at the hero or heroine or villain, if there is only one shot from the hero, the villain dies. But whereas if the hero has 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 bullets in his body, again, and he survives at the end of the story. So this is actually believed by the director, which he makes the audience. This kind of technique, which you can say according to T.S. Eliot, dissociation of sensibility. So it refers to a mechanism of sensibility which could devour any kind of experience. They manifested a direct sensuous apprehension of thought, felt the thought as immediately as the odor of rose. They will get some idea and they express that idea, and they believe that this idea is going to be accepted by the audience. They do not have any doubt the things that I am going to narrate, and audience believe. This kind of mental attitude of the directors, poets, which you can say a dissociation of sensibility, which is coined by T.S. Eliot. And according to T.S. Eliot, this is a popular technique which metaphysical poets possessed a lot in the essay Metaphysical Poets. Next you can see symbolism, and he is also known for symbolism, French symbolism, and we had a long discussion as a part of modern period, and where I spoke about the import and writers like Charles Baudelaire, Arthur Rimbaud, Paul Verlaine, Paul Valéry, and Stephen Malm, very popular French writers, where they introduced the concept like symbolism, the concept of using symbols into literature. And from this, T.S. Eliot took a lot of inspiration. Most of the theories like symbolism, impressionism, Dadaism, absurdism, existentialism, all these are the popular philosophies, popular ideas, philosophical ideas, which actually were derived from French literature. Remember this. So this is one of the French popular philosophy, which T.S. Eliot took a lot of inspiration from this. Impressionism, New Criticism, you see. New Criticism, apart from these writers like Alan Tate, F.R. Lewis, and Arthur Blackmore, William Epson, and I.A. Richards. So he was also a popular new criticism. Functions of criticism, friends, you can see, and popular critical works that were actually traditional individual talent, Sacred Word, Hamlet and his Problems, where he actually talks about the importance of objective relative, selected essays, the use of poetry and use of criticism, the frontiers of criticism, Metaphysical Poets 1921, where he actually introduced a technique called dissociation of sensibility. And this, I feel like you remember all the time, and share our information to your friends, colleagues, and the people who are very good and willing to learn a lot of literary concepts. And we'll be talking about what is the full title of the Metaphysical Poets. The Metaphysical Poets and Andrew Marvell. Very, very important. And who was this Andrew Marvell? One of the Metaphysical Poets, along with John Donne, Andrew Marvell, Abraham Cowley, John Cleveland, George Herbert, Henry Vaughan, Richard Crusher, Thomas Strahan. And he was one of the popular Metaphysical Poets, along with John Donne, George Herbert. So full title, The Metaphysical Poets and Andrew Marvell, 1921. Okay, this we'll be talking about some popular synapses, important points. In 1779, Samuel Johnson coined the term metaphysics. Friends, as I told you in my previous videos, I spoke about metaphysics, metaphysical poets, where I also discussed the concepts, but I'm giving you some basic information. The term metaphysical, which is actually coined by coined by Samuel Johnson, who is also called Dr. Johnson in 1779, Lives of English Poets and Cowley, and done as a part of Life of Cowley in 1779. It is applied to a group of 17th century poets. And 17th century poets, who are the 17th century poets? Metaphysical poets, as I told you. And what are the characteristics of these poets? Directly influenced by Donne and employ similar poetic procedures and imagery. These, and according to Dr. Johnson, a group of poets, they employed same procedures for writing. Friends, as I discussed, I also made some simple techniques like, what are these procedures? FOS, as I told you. Metaphysical poets were known to same figurative language that they have used. Same figurative language. They used simile, metaphors, conceits. Conceits means comparisons, which are common for these poets. Same figurative language. And second, O refers to same organization. They organized systematically by using same stanza forms, same meter. And yes refers to subject matter. Subject, they wrote about either religious or social subjects. Information, content, the subject that they discussed and throughout their poetry was either religious or social poetry. That is what, remember, only just metaphysical, FOS, same figurative language, same organization, same subject matter, either social or religious, same procedures. Imagery, same kind of imagery which was adapted by those poets, both in secular, because they were known for secular and religious poetry. Secular, John Cleveland, Andrew Marvell, Abraham Cowley, George Herbert, Henry Vaughan, and Richard Crusher, Thomas Traherne, the popular writers. John Donne also you can use here because the popular secular poet. Next, these poets exploited all knowledge, commonplace, practical, theological. They wrote literature. These poets wrote literature based on theological, religious, and practical information, philosophical, true or fabulous. For the vehicles of these figures and their comparisons, whether succinct or expanded, were often novel and witty, very clever, and the best startling effectively. So that's what they introduced new techniques like metaphysical conceits, okay, implied conceits that they used in their poetry. Because you will get a bit like what is a common figurative expressions used associated with metaphysical poets or poetry, conceits. Very, very important, my friends. Remember. Conceit, comparisons. In this metaphysical poet, where he also spoke about dissociation of sensibility, which was introduced by T.S. Eliot in Metaphysical Poets. And what is metaphysical? What is dissociation of sensibility? A mechanism of sensibility which could devour any kind of experience. They manifested a direct sensuous apprehension of thought and felt their thought as immediately as the odor of a rose. What they thought, they exhibited in terms of poetry, in terms of drama. Next, this is very important. According to T.S. Eliot, it was greatly aggravated by the influence of John Milton and John Dryden, who had this dissociation of sensibility. All the writers before metaphysical poets, till John Milton, all the Renaissance, metaphysical, and John Milton, everybody possessed this mental faculty, that is dissociation of sensibility. John Milton, John Dryden, and he also made another statement that the writers before, after W.B. Yeats, after John Milton, before W.B. Yeats, these poets did not have dissociation of sensibility according to T.S. Eliot, because they were not able to write something new, something attractive. So which means all the writers, and after maybe neoclassic from 17th century to 18th century beginning to 19th century end, all these romantic poets, Victorian poets, neoclassical poets, they did not have dissociation of sensibility according to T.S. Eliot. And this popular technique was a part of only few writers. Next, later poets in English and either thought or felt but did not think, feel as an act of unified sensibility. That's what writers after John Milton, John Dryden, they did not have unified sensibility. They did not have dissociation of sensibility. So which means after Milton, which means from 1700 to 1900, the writers who lived during this period, all the romantic poets, they did not have dissociation of sensibility. That's what you don't find much criticism on romantic poetry by anti-romantic poet, anti-romantic critic, T.S. Eliot. Next, because they did not think, they did not feel as an act of unified sensibility. The paradox, these metaphysical poets, you and the poets who possessed this dissociation of sensibility included paradox, and both in its poetry. Donne, who wrote prose collections titled Problems and Paradoxes, exploited the figures in his poetry. But according to John Donne and according to T.S. Eliot, they were able to use these paradoxes, ironies, and metaphors, similes, all these figurative expressions, but these were not exploited by different writers who lived after John Milton, John Dryden, according to T.S. Eliot. Okay, remember, my friends. So we'll talk about T.S. Eliot as a critic in our next video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and share our information.